Shabbat Shalom, Israel. Man, I hope everybody is having a blessed Shabbat. This is just a Sabbath message pregame. My Sabbath message will be going live at 2 p.m. today. But today, man, I want to address the problem that oftentimes we face as believers. Oftentimes, man, we can profess our faith in Yahshua HaMashiach in saying that we believe in the Messiah and why he died for us. But the problem is, the Most High Yah is looking for your commitment, and where our flesh is looking for convenience. Man, I am not forgetful of how I used to spend my Saturdays before learning how to worship in spirit and in truth. I'm not forgetful of that. I remember it all too well. Saturdays, from Friday evening to Saturday night, man, I would do everything that was my will. And then as a vain Christian, man, I would then be ready to give about an hour and a half to 2 hours to go to a church service on a day that ain't commanded because it was convenient. Man, I used to wake up. I'll start it back on Friday nights, man. I would, be ready to have a night on the town. Me and my wife have date night, causing other people to work rather than to rest. We would go catch a movie. And by partaking in these things, causing other people to have to work, because in order to go catch a movie, somebody's got to work at these restaurants, these movie theaters. Saturday, man, I would take the cars to the car wash. We might go to the mall as a family, spend a little bit of money. We might run some errands, go to Sam's Club. We might attend a YMCA game, for my children, basketball, sporting events. We might go to the local fair, carnival, see a circus. Everything about the way that I lived my life back when I was a Christian felt like I was doing something right, but it wasn't until actually living according to the word and committing myself to being a doer of the word that I realized, man, I was living my life according to my will, not the will of the Most High. See, most people are stuck in this phase that they don't realize, where they believe in Messiah, but they don't believe in the commitment that he had. When you're looking at his life, the life of Yahushua HaMashiach, you're looking at commitment. Not only in the things that he said. Let me give you Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 5. You shall love Yahweh Elohake with all your heart and mind and with all your soul and all your strength, your entire being. Didn't Yahshua do that? Yahshua didn't come down on earth and say what he was and wasn't going to do because of convenience. He was 100% committed. I didn't have that same level of commitment. But yet, in convenience, man, you search out anything that will make your flesh feel like you're doing something right. As long as people lip saying, hey, we're going to teach you how to follow Messiah, there was no checks and balance and no validation of the word that was validating that we was actually doing what the Messiah did, that we had an obedience to the will of the Most High. Man, the Most High Yah is looking for committed servants. And this is why a lot of people choose not to keep the commandments of the Most High Yah. They choose not to keep the biblical feast days. They choose to keep worldly holidays because of convenience. Well, it's convenient that my family will be there, and it's convenient that my family will celebrate this. So we're going to celebrate this together, because if I start keeping these feast days, I'm going to be by myself. Ain't nobody else really walking in that truth. You see what I'm saying? That's how convenience will jack you up. Yeah, I'm gonna go to the Sunday church that my family has always gone to, because that's convenient. It's only an hour and a half, and I get to look like I'm obedient to the word of Yah, but really I got a form of godliness, but I deny the power. Rather than doing what the book actually says, keep the Sabbath holy, be holy as I am holy. Messiah kept the Sabbath holy. The disciples kept the Sabbath holy. The apostles kept the Sabbath holy. Man, in the book of Acts, the apostles kept the Sabbath over 40 times. But this is the reason why our flesh loves religion, because our flesh is looking for convenience. The Most High Yah wants us to be committed to his righteousness. Psalms chapter 37, verse 5. Commit your way to Yahweh. Trust in him. Also, he will do it. Commit your way. Trust in Yahweh. Seek Yahweh. Commit is Hebrew word 1556 gawal. Okay? And to seek occasion, to trust. When we look in the dictionary, commit, to carry out or perpetuate, pledge or bind to a certain cause or policy. Pledge or bind a person or organization to a certain cause or policy. The Most High Yah is looking for you to pledge yourself, your flesh, to his ways, his cause, his will, his policies, rules, statutes, laws, and commandment. But when you're looking for convenience, you will weasel your way out, cherry pick out of the word. Like, I want you to understand, people that are not committed to the will of the Most High Yah will use the teachings of Paul to justify their disobedience when they don't even understand what Paul was saying. They will go to the very passage where Paul is not telling you to keep any other day, but telling you, don't let nobody judge you or persecute you for keeping the Sabbath, the new moon, festival, or feast. Paul didn't say, don't let nobody judge you for keeping Wednesday. Don't let nobody judge you for keeping first day. That's not what he said. It specifically says Sabbath. How you going to use that as justification for your disobedience when you ain't never kept the Sabbath? You got to understand, man, people looking for convenience will come up with all kind of foolishness. Well, I rest every day. Wait a minute. The book say work 6 days, rest on the Sabbath. When do you work? Are you a sloth? People will use all kind of passages to try to make null and void what they should be committed to. Man, I want you to understand, if you are a believer and you're stuck in that phase, I'm trying to get you over the next hump. Every commandment that you don't even try to keep is a commandment you're going to fail at. I want you to understand, sometimes in religion, man, you can be, you got people that's on the court dribbling the ball in the game. You got people that's on the bench that ain't never in the game. And then you got people in the crowd that don't even understand how the game is really played. In religion, you will find yourself in the nosebleed, witnessing what is happening, reading in the book. You witness what the righteous was actually doing, but you in the nosebleed. You haven't committed to your ways. You got everybody on a basketball. You got everybody in the stands of a basketball game or a football game that's trying to tell the players what they should be doing. And they not in the game. Every time you read one of these commandments, the Most High Yah is wanting you to commit your ways, not default to the ways of your flesh, looking for convenience. Well, I ain't gonna be able to keep the Sabbath today because my baby got a baseball game, a t-ball game. My baby got a swim competition. So keeping that commandment is just not going to be convenient. I want you to understand, time is not ours. Time belongs to the Most High. And he's telling you in his word, work out your salvation with fear and trembling. Where is the fear of the Most High Yah in you looking for convenience? Where's the fear in that? People love reading passages about being doers of the word while never doing any of the word, because it's convenient for you to read it and for people to look at you and think you're actually walking in truth, to accept you. Religion will accept you giving lip service. You can, as a Christian, you can say everything that sounds good, meanwhile rejecting everything the book's telling you to do, and people will welcome you. Come here, brother. Come here, sister. That brother or sister right there loves God. And that brother or sister has had no demonstration of obedience to the word, but has given lip service for 20, 30 years. The book says these people honor me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. You shall love the Lord your Yah with all your heart and mind. See, what happens is you got this compartmentalized heart. You got this compartmentalized heart. And let me tell you about this compartmentalized heart, why it is bad. Because you try to section it off based on your convenience. Let me give you this passage right here, because this gonna crack it open. Let me go to this. This open. See, I want you to understand that these compartments that we create in our heart is what's going to keep the kingdom. And the Most High Yah wants you to serve him with your whole heart. There ain't no room for no other deities. There ain't no room for nobody else to be the priority. The book says he is a jealous El, and anything that you put before obedience to him, he hates. You become to worship it. Have your children become your idol. Has your spouse become your idol? Has your career become your idol? Has money become your idol? Has the world become your idol? Man, anything can become an idol when you put it before the will of the Most High. Luke chapter 14, 26. If anyone comes to me and does not hate his own father, but my father, your fleshly father, told you to do something that's in opposition to the will of the Most High Yah, and your salvation is on the line. If anyone does not hate his own father and mother, well, my mama just wanted me to run her to Sam's Club. I know it's a day we're not to do any servile work, but I'm gonna just slide over there with mama. If anyone comes to me and does not hate his own father and mother and wife, well, happy wife, happy life. My wife just want me to just take her over here and we're going to run to the mall, catch a Victoria's Secret, catch a Bath and Body Works. She really been wanting to see 50 Shades of Grey. If anyone comes to me and does not hate his own father and mother and wife and children, but my children got a t-ball game today. Why would you ask this of me when you know I love my children? Do you love your children more than you love Yah? Brothers and sisters, and yes, even your own life. Man, that makes null and void you fixing your lips up to what you want to do. Well, I thought I was going to wake up and go over here and go over there. No. See, we compartmentalize these things, and in that last little funky compartment, you put the Most High Yah. That's how you treat him. First ones in line, expecting a blessing, expecting a miracle. Man, when the Most High Yah every night sending them death angels out, he could pull you up out of here. He prioritizes his mercy on you. But you get the big head saying, man, I got all the time in the world. You sure about that? There's people out there that don't even know they won't even make it to this evening. And they out there living their best life. Right now, ripping and running, and will walk in that place tomorrow full of witchcraft, talking about they love him and have done nothing that he asked them to do. If anyone comes to me and does not hate his own father and mother and wife and children and brothers and sisters, yes, even his own life, in the sense of indifferent to or relative disregard for them in comparison with his attitude towards Yah, he cannot be my disciple. You can't follow the Messiah with your lips. Be a doer of the word, actively, habitually keeping the commandments, laws, and statutes. Psalms 37:5, commit your way to the Lord, trust in him, and he will do it. That's the reason he ain't doing nothing in your life. You've been looking for, you so used to sugar daddy culture. You become a sugar baby. What does commit mean in the Bible? To entrust, dedicate, or surrender to something, to Yahweh's care and guidance, to his commandments, to his precepts. Give you the definition of convenient, because that's oftentimes when you're in Christianity, these places make it convenient, and because of convenience, they start bringing in fleshly desires, things that's rooted in all kind of paganism and all. It's you got to understand, man. It's convenient for you to go to a 2-hour Easter service. Take your babies up there, the children can have some fun. They got that, deacon such and such putting on that bunny suit. Show up 30 minutes or 30 minutes early to help fill Easter eggs with chocolate and money. That's more convenient than keeping the actual Passover and Feast of Unleavened Bread as the way it's described in the book for 7 days, the way Messiah, the apostles, the disciples kept it, the way the righteous kept it. Convenient, adjective, fitting in well with personal need. When the Most High Yah care about your will ain't gonna get you to the kingdom. Fitting in well with the person's need, activities, and plans. That's what causes people to look for this convenient face, because they worried about what they personally want to do. Worried about their own needs, their own desires, their own activities, their plan. Most High Yah don't give a dang about your plans. You know why? Because he had a plan for you. Psalms 40, verse 8. Listen to the words of the righteous. I delight to do your will, O Yahweh. Your law is within my heart. The law is perfect, reviving the soul. Hebrews 10:7. Then I said, behold, I have come to do your will, O Yahweh, to fulfill what is written of me in the scroll of the book. Proverbs 16:3. Commit. Here we go. This is the problem. Let me break it down, bro. Let me break this down today. Man, you got children that want to be a part of the game, but don't want to show up to practice, to put in the work out your salvation. People want to show up, look religious, without ever following the process of righteousness. You know, right now in this last daytime and hour, I believe 100% of what the book says. In the last days, let me pull this up. Let me pull this up. Let me pull this up because I believe this 100%. I believe this 100%. In the last days, but understand this, that in the last days, dangerous times of great stress and trouble will come. Difficult days that will be hard to bear, for people will be lovers of self, narcissistic, self-focused, lovers of money, impelled by greed, boastful, arrogant, revilers. Let me break this down. Right now, we're in a daytime and hour where commandment keepers need to watch out. Believers need to watch out because a lot of the people, if you're single out there, that you may entertain ain't looking for commitment. They looking for convenience. Why? Because it's convenient to have somebody else pay your bills, to have a good man pay your bills. It's convenient for you to be an old worthless joker, but have the convenience of having a woman to come home to, and she got that food prepared because she's fulfilling her duty. People ain't really looking for commitment to commit. People realize, single folk realize they get themselves, they think they want marriage, but this book is outlining the work, the process that it takes to be good at marriage. What do people reject? The works. What do people reject? Being a doer of the word. See, religious folk care more about the optics of looking religious than the actions of being righteous. Their worship is rooted in convenience, not commitment. Proverbs 16:3. Commit your works to the Lord. Submit and trust them to him, and your plans will succeed if you respond to his will and guide. So you got to understand. See, you've got plans according to the flesh, and you've got plans according to righteousness. Your plans must be in alignment with his will for them to be carried out. See, when you're looking for convenience, you want the Most High Yah to establish your fleshly plans, but you ain't committed to his will. 1 Kings chapter 8, verse 661. Therefore, your hearts are to be wholly devoted. You can't come to him with a piece of it. Devoted to the Lord Yahweh, to walk in his statutes and to keep his commandments, as you are doing today. Deuteronomy 27, verse 10. So shall obey the voice of the Lord your Yahweh and do his commandments and statutes, which I am commanding you today. This ain't optional. See, when you're looking for convenience, you read that word thinking it's optional. Thinking you can weasel your way. Well, he didn't specifically have my name in there. So he wasn't talking to me. Well, this is what people do, looking for convenience. Well, that was for them. That ain't for us. Convenient people remove themselves from the obedience of righteousness. 1 John chapter 5, verse 3. For this is the love of Elohim, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous. When you're looking for convenience, you really ain't interested in doing what he said. Here come the side. I ain't gonna be able to do nothing I want to do. Because he tell us how to do it. I really don't want to. Man, boy, I wish I could just run on back to Christianity and keep communion, be in and out of there in an hour and a half. You mean to tell me I got to keep this feast for 7 days? I can't work on the first day, work on the last. I'm going to lose my. You ain't got no trust in Elohim whatsoever. Because you're looking for convenience. Convenience, there ain't going to be nobody that conveniently wind up in the kingdom. It's going to be those that have committed their ways, committed their works to the Most High Yah that make it in the kingdom. I tell you, man, your flesh will use, trying to find a shortcut, and you will tickle your own ears. You be in the mirror launches, y'all, I'm doing good. I'm a devout, strong Christian. You ain't done nothing that the Messiah did. You ain't even walked how he tells us to walk. Your actions ain't in alignment with it. How can you read that it was a custom of the Messiah to go into the synagogues and to teach, and you doing something different? It's the main problem with believers, man, and I want to make sure you ain't stuck in that phase. Hasatan is perfectly fine with you staying stuck in that convenience phase. Why? Because he don't want to see you make it to the kingdom. Man, when you start worshiping in spirit and truth, man, you will get tired of the arguments of rebellion. You'll get tired of the excuses stemming from convenience. And I tell you, you're not going to learn this overnight. And the Most High Yah was basically saying early in the walk, the reason you're not in the game, the reason in your heart, deep down, you ain't doing none of this, is because you want to be standing with the righteous once they have won the championship, but you ain't came to NAM 1 practice. The Most High was saying, hey, I'm going to show you how to do this. I'm going to give you an example, and those counted as righteous, but you got to show up to practice. Show up with a mind prepared to learn. He says he's going to renew your mind. When you're looking for convenience, you are conformed to the world. No team that didn't practice ever won a championship. Nobody that ever rejected righteousness got into the kingdom. It ain't going to happen like that. He was saying, I want you to show up to practice. When you read a commandment and you like, man, I don't know how to do that, don't worry about it. Show up with a willing heart and a willing mind. And I'm going to make sure the right people are in your life that have been walking, worshiping in spirit and truth, there to guide you. My Ruach is going to guide you. If you're going the wrong way and trying to follow me, my Ruach is going to correct you. Man, I tell you, man, before, let me break this down, before coming across Straightway, before meeting Ak Pierce of To Be Better on YouTube, as a distant example, man, I could count on Straightway. As a local physical example, man, Ak Pierce, the example that he set in my life, whoo. See, when things are distant, you ain't got nobody to hold you accountable. So you can fool yourself into saying, you know what, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. You ain't got no checks and balances. But when I met Ak Pierce, it became about checks and balances. Go over there and check out, To Be Better on YouTube. That's my close brother in the blood of a Mashiach. Go check out the brothers at Straightway. Check out their content. And when I met Ak Pierce, man, it was every day getting held accountable. Asking questions. Hey, what is this? Why are you doing this? Where does the book tell you to do this at? Such a blessing in my life. But the Most High Yah was saying, hey, man, these practices might run 3-4 hours long, and it's going to get hot in that kitchen. trial by fire. You're going to have to go through the fire. I'm reading about persecution, but as long as I'm looking for convenience, you ain't going to get no persecution, because that's what the world is doing. But the minute you start obeying, man, that persecution is coming. That's that fire. It get hot in that kitchen. You know, man, I'm very thankful that I can wake up and, like the book says, strive for perfection. No, I'm not there yet, but I got a willing heart and mind focused on getting there. Some days are better than others. That's a whole lot better than rejecting what he's telling you to do. That's a whole lot better. Most High Yah is saying, show up to practice. You saying, I don't know how to dribble. I don't know how to shoot. And when it comes to these commandments, everyone that you don't strive for is everyone that you've transgressed against. Man, when I first started keeping the Sabbath, I started with the Sabbath, and the Sabbath was a game changer. Then I realized, oh snap, Leviticus 23, there's more that I got to do. And here's the difference. Those compartments of my heart that used to be for different segments of the world, I prioritized and said, I'm going to have to give my whole heart to them. I'm going to have to give it all to them. I'm going to have to put everything on the line. Nothing is coming before Yah. Not work, not career, not money, not marriage, not children, not friends, not family, not things of the world. I'm going to have to give it 100% to the Most High Yahweh Elohim. And once I did that, man, I realized, man, I had the best free throw coach. I realized I had the best dribbling coach. When you're looking at these people that was counted as righteous and the Most High Yah is giving you demonstrations of what made them righteous, that's your dribbling coach. That's your defensive coach. That's your offensive coach. That's your special teams coach. He's got people that are there to show you how to do it. Man, but when your heart and mind is not set on committing to him, but you looking for convenience, you'll wonder why your performance sucks. We got the best tutor there is, the Ruach HaKodesh, the spirit of Abba Yah. But when you're looking for convenience, the Ruach HaKodesh is not going to dwell in you. How can the Ruach HaKodesh dwell in you when your heart ain't committed to Yahweh? Man, I hope this message, I pray that this message, in Yahushua HaMashiach's name, can help somebody get a breakthrough. Get a breakthrough in advancement of obedience. You know, I want you to be able to go from the nosebleeds, being a spectator of what the righteous did, to actually learning how to be upright, walking upright, being obedient to the word, so you can be counted as righteous, brother or sister. I'm hoping you can get there. Nobody else is gonna be able to. I want you to understand, the Most High Yah, if you watch this and you go back to convenience, understand the Most High Yah gives us free will. Man, that free will is gonna be brought under examination and judgment to prove how much you loved him. Those who love me obey my commandments. Free will is not for you to live your best life. He's not going to put a gun to your head. Man, I want you with wholehearted and confidence to be able to read the word of the Most High Yah. And no matter how difficult, no matter how much of the world rejects the instructions, man, I want you to have the heart to be able to receive it, even if ain't nobody in your house, even if your whole workplace is filled with doggone Hellenistic and heathens, people that rebel against them. For you to have the faith to where you stand up and say, you know what, I can't I can't move like that no more. I got to be obedient to this word because my salvation on the line. You got folk that's looking for convenience. They call them PKs. They living off the righteousness of their father. When the Most High Yah gave you your life and free will to choose him. See, you got to understand, you don't want to get to judgment and be sitting up there talking about, well, I know such and such. Well, my granddaddy, my grandmama prayed for me and all of this. But wait a minute. They prayed for you to give your heart over to me, but you never did. Part ways, I never know you. I never knew you. They that say they know him and keep not his commandments is a liar, and the truth is not in him. You start talking, well, I did all this and did all these signs and abracadabra this and all this religious. I don't know you. Part ways. You are a worker of iniquity, lawlessness. Man, this thing is I tell you, man, with all this stuff going on in the world, you know, being a soldier and the Most High Yah being a soldier by career, man, I really don't, it don't fathom me. If something jump off, it jump off. But I know when it jump off on the side of righteousness, woo, we got the victory. We got the victory. But when you don't know Yah, when you ain't obedient to his will, you got a lot of doubt. Well, what if World War III come? What if they attack us? What if man, as a soldier being married in the United States Army, man, my wife is constantly like, you gonna have to go over there? You know, you gonna have to do this? Hey, bro, being a living sacrifice is preparing for death. How as a soldier could I count myself as worthy if I'm not willing to go into a battle knowing that I might die? Physical, spiritual. Look at how the Messiah died. Wasn't he a sacrifice? Look at how the prophets died. Look at the disciples. Did they not go out with a bang? Did they not go out in valor? I ain't worried about none of this stuff going on. But you got to get to the part where your heart is willing rather than rejecting, where your heart is committed versus looking for convenience. Man, as a drill sergeant, I used to teach people, man, when it was time to throw grenades, man, some people would avoid committing to the process. I would look them dead in their face. I said, hey, you believe in this training? You believe that you got a life insurance policy that your family gonna be taken care of? Because there's a high probability you could pull the pin on that grenade and it could blow me and you up. But what I want you to do as a soldier, I want you to pull the pin on that grenade, and I want you to do everything we taught you to do and commit to the process. And you're going to make it up out of here. I didn't know if they really was going to make it to graduation. We could have got blown up, but man, that didn't stop us from committing to the process. I want you to understand, man, right now we're in a world where people love the convenience of vain religion while rejecting righteousness. They're at war with the Most High Yah because they're in friendship with the world. And you got an opportunity to be a soldier. You got an opportunity to be a soldier, the sister or a brother. Most High Yah got a lot of different positions within the kingdom that need fulfilled. Only a remnant is going to make it up out of here. You don't want to be somebody that was looking for convenience and you didn't make it in. You outside knocking on the gates, looking at what the righteous is in there doing. No. Get rid of them compartments in your heart and put the Most High Yah first. Don't let nothing come before the Most High Yah. I'm telling you, man, you have to be willing to lose it all. Your house, your family, your job. Man, Job went through the fire. Man, they was laughing at Job while he was sitting on that dung hill. English translation, S-H-I-T. German, Scheiße. They was laughing at him to go from a wealthy man, but he committed himself to the Most High. Man, a lot of your test in your faith will be seeing how you react to losing things that your lips said you really didn't place no value in. Will you rebel against the Most High Yah when, in order to be committed to his cause, your family that really wasn't, or your spouse that really wasn't, your wife that really wasn't capable of making it into the next chapter with you, chooses not to walk with you? Will you rebel against the Most High Yah and say, why would you take that from me? When the Most High Yah takes your doggone vehicle in order to get you out of debt and gives you a bus pass that's paid for, will you rebel against him? Man, we got to get out of this mindset of convenience, because that convenience will have you looking for shortcuts where the Most High Yah wants to show you the fullness of the process. I want you to understand, man, as a man that builds all kind of different construction projects and labors, man, technology is about convenience and it makes people lazy. Religion is the same way. It's about convenience. And people don't understand the process. They don't get all the lessons. Nowadays, they got all these different calculators, all these different tools to do stuff that's a shortcut. You got to understand, you got people that know how to use a nail gun that's got to be plugged in, that's got to have a battery, but can't drive a nail. The Most High Yah wants to take you through them calluses on your hand so you understand the process of returning to the old paths and what it's going to take. See, in the wilderness, you're not going to have all those luxuries. When things hit the fan, you ain't going to have all those luxuries. But what you will have is an understanding that if you have, with your whole heart, come before the Most High Yah and committed your ways, man, you're going to have so much wisdom that the world won't even understand. How it's the last days, judgments, how are they surviving? How are they thriving and rejoicing while everybody else is murmuring and complaining and uproar about what's going on in the world? Most High Yah wants to take you through the process. Most High Yah wants you to experience every bead of sweat coming down while you show up to practice and you're asking how many more we got to do. Come on. Man, I pray that a brother or sister get out of that mindset of lazily as a last ditch effort. You on your deathbed. Whole life you've been looking for convenience. But you say, well, when I get older, I'm going to get right. You get on your deathbed and all of a sudden you want to, oh, I love you. No, do that now. Your deathbed could be the night you get up in them fur-lined sheets, wiggling your toes. It could be your last night. Closer to Yah Ministries, kicking it gun, barrel straight.